With great power comes great responsibility.
Hello,
Damn
everybody.
you, Jesse! You
don't.
I'm getting all emotional over here. Jeez.
Hey, when we do Spider-Man retrospectives, we get really emotional, and this is Flickin' Real, and welcome Flickin' Fanatics to the finale of our Spider-Man review series that we've been doing. We reviewed the Tobyverse, the Garfieldverse, and the Hollandverse, and we're now capping it off with our spoiler-free review for Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, is this the most difficult task that has been brought to Flickin' Real?
Yes.
It's possible, but we are going to do our best to dodge spoilers, just like we've been doing all week, and we're going to do our best not to spill anything that you don't know from the trailers, and we're going to talk about what we did and did not like from a surface level kind of vantage point, looking down, things like choreography, action, performances, plot, not details, but how it worked and things
Star
like
Drew already coming in with the facts. Wait, that isn't
well, much like Sony, we like to market one thing and then present you as something completely different. So keep that in mind.
You know what? There actually wasn't that much in the trailers and marketing that we got that wasn't in the final film. There were a few things. I'm trying
to have a bit here. You're ruining my bit.
No, I'm not.
Kind of ruining the bit, Buck.
Looking into the chat. Hobbit, welcome, and Star Drew, hello.
Maddie Gunner, what up, buddy?
Silver Fox. Allison's not that silver.
If you look really close, we're getting there. We are getting there. We're starting
I really, if somebody wants to call a spoiler on this, I will just end this channel. But I did notice they put a little bit of gray in Marissa Tomei's hair, and I called bullshit on it when I was watching the movie. I was like, no. We can't absolutely
do that.
Not.
Bador, hi Bador.
Hi Bador, welcome. All right, just so you guys know, safe place.
No spoilers.
One of the reasons why we're running a little late. I mean, I had a lot of setup to do. Obviously, I went from working all day, got home, ran to the theater. So much of the stream is not set up yet, so we got it set up.
I have been up since 4 a.m. I have been awake for 22 hours.
That's crazy, Allison.
Savage.
I've been awake for 20. You know what's even crazier? I went to the gym this morning for my 5 a.m. workout because I thought I had signed up for it. I wasn't even signed up for it. I could have slept in and not done it to myself.
That is the worst. I think you just run home at that point and call it a workout.
I was already there. They wouldn't have let me leave. But yeah, it's
man, there was definitely a lot of surprises in this movie here. And Maddie says I'm slightly inebriated at a bar in San Fran, so I'm here for the shenanigans.
Always, Maddie. Always shenanigans.
Okay. Where to begin? Did you all like it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
My initial reaction is that it's probably my favorite live-action Spider-Man movie.
And I think that is still a fair. I think a lot of people jump really quick saying it's the best Spider-Man movie ever. I'm like, maybe. I think that's
Spider-Verse
an argument to be had, but yeah. Spider-Verse is the first Spider-Man movie to make me cry. But as this movie proves, it's
that's
not the
interesting.
last.
Oh, I definitely.
Oh my God,
I definitely bawled in this movie.
I also really enjoyed that Buck's first comment to our group chat was, "I cried, so I can't." So I'm pretty sure Allison also cried, and I'm like,
"No." I said Allison. If I teared up and cried, Allison probably bawled.
Yeah. Semantics.
Without any spoilers, everybody in the chat, I want to know just if you got the chance to see the movie, or if you haven't, when are you seeing it? When are you seeing it a second time? I'm seeing it tomorrow night and also Monday night.
I'm seeing it at noon tomorrow. Noon
I
my
need
time.
to see it one more time before the party thing we do on Saturday. I just need another viewing of it.
You gotta absorb the movie without the surprises.
Maddie Gunner. Maddie just cracks me up.
Yeah. Like it's just hard to find the time because I work till 6, and either the IMAX showings or the normal showings, they're all pretty much full. In this showing, I was in the second row, so it was like this. So it wasn't. It was harder to see.
When Stacy's seat, there's the neck breakers.
Yeah, like it wasn't bad.
Jesse, I'm taking you out. I'm kicking you out. You're getting removed for that one.
Ooh, Jake Berlin.
I can still control the chat.
What up, Jake?
Okay. So let's talk the lead of the film. There's a lot of people out there saying that this is Tom Holland's strongest performance within the MCU. I think without a doubt that is fair to say.
100%.
I think any moment that was meant to be funny, the comedy hits, the emotional bits. Tom Holland has been quoted as saying that this film is brutal at times. It is. Without saying the ifs and the who's and the whats. It's brutal in a lot of ways. It's psychologically brutal, and you look at the toll that the events of Far From Home take on Peter throughout this film and how it affects others, and that's shown in the trailer. That's kind of his motivation for anything he does moving forward.
Yeah,
and that was like the shadow of the whole film. That was the emotional core of it. I think that was handled very well. Mike is hitting the nail on the head. He says this is honestly the first time that John Watts perfectly understood the character. I am now
more excited that he's going to be doing Fantastic Four. Like before, I was like, I don't know. Like the first 2 Spider-Man movies, they're fine, they're good. After this, I'm like, oh, I'm very excited to see what he's able to do with the Fantastic. I don't know if that's his next movie, but it's definitely it has to be within.
I don't know what else he could. Like, unless he's got like an indie film, I don't think he could squeeze in another blockbuster between this and a movie that was already announced like a while ago. But maybe. Yes, the understanding of the character I feel like is completely on display. I've been on record of being not the biggest fan of Homecoming. I think it's a little bit of a weaker Spider-Man film. Far From Home I love more than most people, but it's still feels Spider-Man light. In this movie, for a variety of reasons, is like, here's all the things that you haven't been getting with Spider-Man, whether that be demonstrations of intelligence or how the action is portrayed, the creative use of webbing and things like that. All of that seems to be bumped up in No Way Home.
Yes, which I think we talked about with like the retrospective with the
Jeff liked a movie.
Jeff liked a movie, right? We talked about like wanting to we wish we saw more just like Spider-Man itself doing Spider-Man things. It felt more like Homecoming feels more like to me an Iron Man movie with Spider-Man in it. And then you have a Nick Fury movie with Spider-Man in it. And like this one, I feel like it's so much more it's so much more with the Tom Holland and the Spider-Man centric, and it's just was my heart's still racing. Like I'm hot. I'm like sweating. I'm pretty sure, I think I told you guys, like if I probably got close enough to the camera, you could see like where my eye makeup had run because I had a Christmas party for work right before I went to go see this. So
question for you guys. I think, which I found a little surprising, Spider-Man movies usually have a lot of lighthearted moments. To me, this is one of the top 3 funniest MCU movies.
Yes.
Like my theater was exploding with laughter throughout like the entirety of the film from a lot of unexpected places, I think.
So according to John Watts' IMDb, the only thing he's slated for directing is Fantastic Four. So that is but that doesn't have a release date yet. It's in development.
It's got to be in 2004, right?
2004. Yeah, 2004. Yeah. No, I'm saying probably 2024.
Without getting into the details of the characters and motivations and things, what villain that we've seen in the trailers, clear and presently, really stood out to you, or maybe more than you were expecting?
Oh,
Wow.
Alfred! I love Alfred Molina as Doc
I said
Ock.
more than you were expecting. We all knew Alfred was going to bring it.
I love it.
The main reason why Spider-Man 1 2002 is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. Willem Dafoe kills it in this movie.
Always.
Oh my god. I knew he was good, but he just, oh my god, he took it to a whole nother level.
Hey, Mike K, you can't spoil who Green Goblin is.
No, Jake brings up a solid point.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up. Whoops. That's
Throughout this entire movie.
Oh, sorry, I pushed it on accident.
Get out. Everyone out. Everyone get out.
No, like you can definitely tell throughout this entire movie, this is Tom Holland.
Yeah.
This is his movie.
How did they do that? Because
How
like
did
this
they
movie has, there's one of the conversations I was having with Lauren on the way home. I was like, somehow this movie has more than any other Spider-Man movie. And I constantly talk about the MCU Spider-Man movies having like too much else, too much that's not Peter. This feels like it has more other stuff than any of them, and yet was the most Spider-Man. So it felt like we got more of everybody. And which is weird because usually
there were, I would say, out of the 5 villains, because we have seen all 5 of them in the trailers.
Did we?
Yes. We've seen Green Goblin, we've seen Doc Ock, we've seen Electro, Sandman, and the Lizard.
Yep.
They were all present in the trailer, so we know we're in the movie. Without, this really isn't a spoiler. There were 3 of them I felt like were more to the forefront.
Yes.
And there were 2 that were kind of like, they gave them a little bit of stuff, but not a lot. But
I will say the amounts, even with like the variety, the amounts that each character was in the film surprised me.
Yes.
For
Awesome.
as many characters as there were, for them to get the amount of time that they did and still make a really cohesive story was definitely surprising.
My boy Benny, like Lauren just kept looking over me because my strange simp it's a hard simp, and I was constantly just like, my man, and she's like, he's being such a dick, and I was like, my man,
Yeah,
my man.
I love Steven so much.
Yeah.
I do love Benedict Cumberbatch.
Dude, he's so good. Benedict Cumberbatch is
so
phenomenal in everything.
The perfect Doctor Strange. There's no
like
one else.
That's the one thing that in our spoiler-free discussion I can say is a lot of these performances were chef's kiss. We're so good. Like
Bedora's comment, this movie was redemption for Fox 100%. What caught me off guard is that Jamie Foxx might have been the funniest person in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a pleasant surprise.
You know, Jeff, you're typing a lot for someone who's supposed to be driving. Just gonna put that out there.
I love that as
it's possible Paulina's driving.
Did Paulina
as this
go?
film was. He says it never lost sight that this was a Spider-Man movie first and an MCU entry second, something the other movies don't do as well. I agree. As somebody that defends Far From Home, somehow this movie really felt like, and it's weird because like Doctor Strange is not a small part. He's all over this movie, and still, it's a Tom Holland Peter Parker movie.
Yeah,
so good.
But again, there are some moments where I'm like, oh my gosh.
I will say that upon getting, because obviously it's no surprise, you get a closer look at Lizard throughout the movie. He doesn't look great. If we're going to talk about cons, can we talk about some things that, like, obviously we could heap praise for half an hour, but what are some things that you're like, again, without like plot stuff, was there any, the music I think was on point. Michael Giacchino's done it again.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that he can't do? Like
No.
I'll just
say no.
He just does a phenomenal job.
Kills it every single time.
Big critique I've seen is that a lot of people say the first half of the movie is a little slow and not the best part.
Well, I say that those people are a little slow.
Well, to be fair, I've been up since 5 a.m.,
that,
so I might have been nodding off like just a tiny bit during like the slower parts, but it's not my fault.
I don't like how
I've been
they
up
made
since 4.
Peter wasn't very smart in the like. There were some things that Peter was doing. I'm like, you're smarter than this. Come on. Like I was like, really?
You
Like,
know, I'm
I
going to go
d-
ahead and think
what-
back to when I was 16 and 17, and let me tell you some stories.
My other thing that I think is, I mean, and you can't really help it without getting, but it's like, well, never mind. I don't think I can say it because I feel like it might be more. Never mind.
Allison hinted at a spoiler. She's been removed permanently.
I mean, if we really want to go spoiler, I could just say it right now.
No, I don't think you do. It's no.
I mean, Jake Johnson was a surprise, right?
Jay Johnson was this. No, you know who was a big surprise was Spider-Gwen. I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
And then Miles just showed up. Like, what was that? I'm kidding. We're kidding, guys.
There is and is not.
Yes, I know.
Maybe possibly.
We can save that for Saturday. We can save that for
Talk about
Saturday.
Saturday. We'll talk
I
about
didn't see
Saturday.
him.
It's
Might have
not
been
what
when I
you
was.
think it is. No. It's not even. It's not that. We'll talk
No.
about it.
It's
On Saturday.
some subtext.
Yeah, subtext. Funny stuff. Got a good laugh out of me. Yeah, so I thought the intelligence was something that I really appreciated seeing. I love that all the villains were kind of ranked up in general. Like they're, we can again see in the trailers that the power level or sets and stuff is all ranked up. Everyone's a bit more dangerous than we've known them to be. And I love the feeling of dread that we get throughout the film. Like they're not to be messed with. Things go awry. And it's amazing that this film covers several different story beats. Like at first, this is the direction, and then this is the direction, and then they like circle back a little bit, and it all is fulfilling. The dinosaur does talk. Did you guys love that we got a decent chunk of J.K. Simmons returning?
Of course.
I love J.K. Simmons so much.
Born
so
to play this role.
much.
Born to be J. Jonah Jameson.
Exactly.
I don't want to say this is a spoiler, but there is a shot where he's just on a desk in front of a green screen. That made me chuckle a little bit.
Oh, so funny.
I was like,
that's
great.
But I also like now I feel like there's an explanation now about why he doesn't have any hair because multiverse.
Yes.
What
I want to say to what Jeff's saying, says speaks to the quality of film that it can be so funny and the jokes mostly landing and contains so much dread and tension. Now, another movie that didn't have as much dread and tension, but still had a lot of weight to it, it's actually Thor Ragnarok. Everyone thinks of Thor Ragnarok as being the funny movie, but Odin died, Asgard was destroyed, Thor lost an eye. There's all these like dark things happening, but they mix in humor, I think, very well with it because Taika does that phenomenally well. Anyone that's seen Jojo Rabbit can attest to that. You're laughing, you're sobbing. Like he's great at that.
I love Taika Waititi so much. Yeah, he's a J. Jonah Jameson. He absolutely is the MCU. So.
And I think that was the point.
Oh, it's fantastic. I loved this movie so much.
I'm like, all right, what can I say?
I know.
Well, okay, so let me help us all out. So I think we all enjoyed the movie. If we want to nitpick, there's things we can find here and there with like CGI or things that maybe didn't quite add up, and that's all things that we want to dive into, which we are going to do Saturday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's 11 p.m. Eastern and whatever nonsense Mountain Time. And
Buck can figure it out on his own. He's an adult.
Yeah. We don't.
The fact that Allison had to add, like, that's one of my big, like, figuring out time zones in the U.S. is not difficult. It's when you have
unless you're
like
Mountain Time,
Maddie Gunner, where you don't know what time zone they actually are and the difference. Like, I guess for me, I've known
Maddie doesn't care as long as they're serving something.
Over it, they're like being yelled.
Son of a bitch.
That's okay.
You son of a bitch.
One at a time. All right. So what I was saying is I want everybody that's here, both in the chat and on screen, and we're gonna have lots of guests. I know that right now it's really late, so there's not a lot of people willing to come on here. But we're going to have a plethora of Schmoedown personalities, friends of the channels and stuff, Saturday night, 8 p.m. PST. And it is not a review per se. We're having a spoiler party. I don't know how long it's going to run. Maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. I'm going to need some water breaks. And it's going to be a really good time. And I know all of us are just kind of like munching at the bit to get to that point. And I know at least
but we want to be
us,
respectful because
yeah,
the showing started tonight for the general public, and it wouldn't be. We want to be respectful for those that just haven't had the time to see it. So I feel like if you really want to see this movie, you find time Thursday night, Friday, most of Saturday to find it, or you
Watch on the
good.
replay.
Yes, you can watch on the replay. Can also just stay off social media. Like it's
I had to. Yeah.
I mean, you
Or
weren't
watch my
always
True
off
Crime.
of it. You did have to post a tweet.
I did, but like
Actually,
I
some of those tweets
almost
I
kinda did this.
posted.
That's
Some of
true.
those tweets
I
I
sent Allison
posted, and
on
he
missions.
just went to go retweet them for me. He goes, "Hey, put this out there, and I'll just pop out and retweet." That's what I'm here for, really. Every now and then.
I spent a collective amount of like maybe 5 minutes on Twitter this entire week. And most of that was like I opened the app and clicked messages because I had to message people something that only talked to me on Twitter. So I'm like, then popped off.
Yeah,
So
I
it was a
was
stressful
doing
time.
well, but I was on YouTube on Tuesday night and something got spoiled for me. Like, you know what? This got spoiled. Let's just go back to Twitter. So
I
Well,
just like that I
They
did
can't hurt us
everything.
anymore, guys. They can't hurt us.
I muted everything MCU that I could think of between this and Hawkeye.
I
and so
don't
now my
know.
timeline
Did
is
you
full of
see
Star
Ed
Wars.
Haskell's photo of all the things he suggested? There was like 50 to 100 words.
Oh my god.
And he also included like notable misspellings. Like there is a hashtag of Spider-Man Now Way Home instead of No Way Home. That is pretty prominent. That is used.
Wow.
I told
just-
Haskell, I'm like, Haskell, it's just way less time consuming and easier just to delete Twitter off your phone.
You know what's funny is semi unrelated, but like in this theater, like there was really good pops. Everyone was laughing, and I heard a lot of people say certain things when certain things happen. I'm like, oh, these people are in the know. And yet, I think more than half the theater left after the first post-credit scene.
Always.
And I'm
Yes,
like,
if you're watching this and you haven't seen it, stay till literally the house lights come on.
Always. There
is
are
what I'm
always
saying.
people who leave. And I'm like, how many times have we been doing this? How many times? You
Since
know
2008.
it's going to happen.
Any MCU, Marvel,
credits, the
DC
new thing.
movie,
not
I
the,
stay. I stay till the very end because you never know.
yeah. I just can't believe they brought Cat back and had another video of him talking about patience. I thought that was a little overused, but anyways, thank you guys for joining me. I know that we could very easily talk for another half hour, but if we did, it'd be really hard not to get into spoilers. And I know that we want to do that. Allison, I know it's like freaking almost 3 a.m. your time.
I've been awake for 23 hours, y'all. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life.
I like my case rule here. It says my rule for movies is stay until the staff literally kicks you out. Coming from somebody that worked at a theater, please don't do that. I will hit you with a broom. Bedore says, I'm really good at avoiding spoilers. Didn't see anything MCU since the beginning of COVID, shows included, and still haven't been spoiled. Wait, was No Way Home the first MCU COVID thing that you've seen? Because that is wild. Also, I have questions for you about how some of that end credit stuff landed. Anyways, all right, Chris Adams showing up saying, hello, so good. Thank you, Chris Adams, for being here. Bedore, Hobbit, Mike K, Jeff.
No,
Thanks,
no.
friend.
Fuck
Never
Jeff.
thank Jeff. Never thank
Never.
Jeff.
We
Maddie
don't
got
need
her.
to boost that man's ego any more than it already is.
All right. Well, until Saturday, because I'm not doing anything between now and Saturday besides seeing this movie again and talking about it with some friends. It's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate everyone on screen and in the chat. Thank you so very much. Spider-Man out. It's been a good one. Until next time, keep it real and follow these people on their respective social medias. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Allison Salamoni. Just to brag, I got a like from Devin Sawa earlier today, so my life is made.
I
along with the
actually
follow from Kate.
almost made
Fantastic.
a comment on that because it showed Sean Wingblade. Wait, you got a like from Sean Wingblade?
No rambling.
Sorry, but yes,
Sorry.
Allison Salamoni on Twitter, and you can find me at Allison_Salamoni over on Instagram, and here whenever I invite myself on.
Which is
And
every
also
week.
doing hostile takeovers of the various Flick and Real social media accounts. So thank you so very much. Buck, where can people find you?
Twitter and Instagram at BrandonBuck88. I actually been pretty active on Instagram the last week or so, but before that I wasn't really. But I'm very active on Twitter. I'll tweet about movies, TV, sports, and Schmodown. That's pretty much it.
You know, I just realized Buck subbed in Scott's beard, so we're doing okay.
Allison
nothing like
needs
Sean,
to
though.
shave her sides, and then we'll be good.
I'm a much more attractive version of Sean, is what I'm gonna say.
All right, guys. Again, thank you so very much, and stay safe, stay spoiler free if you haven't seen it, and don't spoil Spidey. Until next time.
This is the sound of dun, 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 dun. It's the Flick and Reel Show.